There is a place closer to us than the nearest star, smaller than Earth's own moon, where an ocean is hiding. Not a sea, an ocean. So vast, you could pour every drop of water on Earth into it twice and still have room to spare. Its name is Europa. It orbits Jupiter almost 400 million miles from the Sun. And underneath its frozen skin, scientists are now almost certain a global salty sea is sloshing in the dark, older than life on Earth, possibly inhabited. And in October of 2024, we sent a spacecraft to find out. But here's where the story turns strange, because for 400 years, nobody thought Europa was anything special. Galileo Galilei spotted it through his telescope in 1610. Just a pinpoint of light beside a giant planet. A satellite. Nothing more. It took us almost 4 centuries to realize what we were really looking at. Picture Europa for a moment. From orbit, it looks like a cracked porcelain egg. Smooth, white, polished. Across its face, long red-brown veins spider out for thousands of miles, like a planet-sized fingerprint left by something we cannot name. No mountains, almost no craters, almost nothing. Why? Because Europa's surface is shockingly young, 40 to 90 million years old. On a moon that is 4.5 billion years old, that's a single page out of a 1,000-volume encyclopedia. Something keeps resurfacing it, erasing the past, smoothing it over, and whatever is doing it is working from below. But that is not even the strangest part. In the 1990s, NASA's Galileo spacecraft flew past Europa and measured something it could not explain. Jupiter's enormous magnetic field was being bent, deflected, as if Europa itself had something electrically alive inside it. Something flowing, something conductive, something salty. There was only one thing that fit: liquid water. Underneath an ice shell roughly 15 miles thick, scientists believe Europa holds a global ocean, pole to pole, up to 100 miles deep, with twice, possibly 3 times, the volume of every ocean on Earth combined. Let that land. Europa is smaller than our moon. You could fit it inside the continental United States. And yet, sealed beneath its skin of ice, there is more liquid water than humanity has ever seen. More than the Atlantic, the Pacific, the Indian, the Arctic. All of them, every shoreline, every shipwreck, every storm in human history. Gone, with room left over inside a single moon of Jupiter, and no one has ever touched a single drop. How does it stay liquid? Europa is roughly 500 million miles from the Sun. Sunlight there is just 4% of what we feel on Earth. The surface temperature minus 260 degrees Fahrenheit, cold enough to freeze your breath into glass on contact. The whole moon should be a solid block of ice all the way through, but it isn't, because Jupiter, that swirling giant, pulls on Europa with such monstrous gravity that the moon flexes. Every 3.5 days, with every orbit, Europa stretches and squeezes like a rubber ball in a fist. That flexing creates friction. Friction creates heat, and that heat is what keeps an alien ocean liquid in the deep freeze of the outer solar system. And here is where it gets really strange. A little over a decade ago, the Hubble Space Telescope spotted something faint, rising from Europa's south pole. Plumes, geysers, vapor, climbing more than 100 miles above the surface before falling back down as snow. The ocean wasn't just hiding underneath, it was leaking out. Picture that for a moment. Fountains of alien seawater erupting through a crust of ice, freezing in mid-air, drifting back down across a black sky. A world quietly breathing, slowly, patiently, in the dark. And if it leaks out, then one day we could taste it, analyze it, know what's in it. That is exactly why, in October of 2024, NASA launched the largest planetary spacecraft it has ever built. Europa Clipper, solar wings wider than a basketball court. Electronics buried inside a titanium vault, built to survive radiation that would kill a human being in minutes. Its mission? Roughly 50 close flybys, some as low as 16 miles above the ice, sniffing the plumes, mapping the cracks, listening with radar to whatever is moving underneath. It will not arrive until April of 2030. 6 years of cold silence between us and the answer. But here is the question scientists are quietly afraid to ask out loud. What if it's already alive down there? On Earth, wherever there is liquid water, there is life. The deepest trenches of our own oceans, pitch black, crushing pressure, no sunlight whatsoever, are crowded with creatures feeding off chemical heat from cracks in the seafloor. We call them hydrothermal vents, entire ecosystems thriving on energy from below, never once touched by the sun. Europa, with a rocky seafloor and a tidally heated interior, may have them too. And consider this, Europa's ocean has been there, sloshing, churning, quietly cooking, for somewhere close to 4.5 billion years. That is older than life on Earth, older than continents, older than the oxygen in our own atmosphere. If life truly only needs water, energy, and time, then Europa has all three, in quantities we can barely picture. And just recently, in late 2025, something else came in. New data from another spacecraft, NASA's Juno mission, originally designed to study Jupiter itself, suggested that Europa's ice shell may actually be even thicker than scientists previously thought, which would mean the ocean below has been even more sealed off, more isolated, more alone with its own chemistry, in the dark, for billions of years. If anything is alive in there, it would be unlike anything we have ever seen. But here is the part that should genuinely break the way you see the universe. Europa is not even the wettest place in our own solar system. That title almost certainly goes to Ganymede, another of Jupiter's moons, bigger than the planet Mercury, holding, by some estimates, more water than every other rocky world we know, combined. And then there is Callisto, Titan, Enceladus, even tiny distant Pluto, all the way out at the edge of the solar system, is now suspected of hiding an ocean of its own. For most of human history, we thought Earth was the blue marble, the water world, the exception. We were wrong. We are the dry one. If you gathered every ocean on Earth into a single sphere and set it next to our planet, that sphere would be embarrassingly small. A tiny blue marble against an enormous ball of rock. Most of what Earth is stone. We have a thin film of water across our surface. That is all. Out there, beyond Mars, hidden beneath shells of frozen ice on world after world after world, the solar system is drenched, soaked. We are surrounded by oceans we cannot see. Oceans older than life itself. And every single one of them is a possible address for something living. For 400 years, we looked up at Europa and saw nothing but a point of light next to Jupiter. A frozen pebble. A footnote. We were wrong about that too. Europa is not a moon with a little water on it. Europa is an ocean with a thin sky of ice, a blue world, sealed shut, waiting. And in 2030, when Europa Clipper finally slips into Jupiter's orbit and its radar begins pulsing down through that ice, listening for echoes from a sea no human has ever seen. The strangest question is not whether we will hear something back. The strangest question is whether something down there finally hears us.